That might just work. So here I have a glow shift transmission temperature gauge, and my goal today is to get this mounted in the truck somewhere. I didn't really want to run the A-pillar pod just because of the way it looks in these trucks. The A-pillar is so small that this doesn't really fit that great. So I was trying to think of another way to do this, and I think I have an idea. Motor diameter 2 3/8 inch PVC, and a 2 1/16 gauge fits in there with a tight enough fit that it doesn't come out with a decent amount of force. Like, I can't pull it out with one hand. So that gave me an idea. So then I cut a piece. It is about 3 inches tall. It's got a bit of a angle on the bottom, and if we take it into the truck here, you can see, I was kind of thinking of putting it right about there, so that when you're in the driver's seat, you can see the temperature. Could maybe turn it this way, so it's pivoted that way. But yeah, that's kind of my idea. Then the guy could notch it just a hair so that it could go up against this, and then probably secure it to this bezel actually. Just drill a hole through the side of it, mount with one bolt, and I'm sure it'll be fine. And then you can run your wires down through the tube, and then under the carpet, up under the dash, and down to the tranny temp sensor. I just have this sitting in here. It's not screwed in or anything, just loosely sitting on there. But this is secured really well. Surprisingly, with just that one bolt, I had to kind of grind away a little bit of this material so that I could pivot this back this way because of the way this is formed. It's a little bit this way, so I had to try and get it as straight up and down as I could. And as you can see, when we put the gauge in here, a bit of a tight fit. Bit of a tight fit, but it doesn't want to come out very easily. Like, it won't fall out when you hit a bump. And it's in there pretty well. It's in a decent spot too, so thinking that should work pretty good. I will take this back out and then I'll paint it up probably the same color as this so it matches. And then I'll have to run the wiring down under the carpet here and then make a hole in the carpet under this so that it can come up to the gauge. Here it looks all installed. Turned out pretty good. It's securely mounted. Surprisingly, with just that one bolt, it is on there really well. As well as this is very tight fit. I can like just turn it with a decent amount of effort. So, when you turn the key on, you get power to it, it does its sweep. Right now I have it on the color changing mode, but you can cycle through all the different colors you want. And then when I turn the park lights on the truck, it dims down, which is exactly how it should be. So the reason it's pegged all the way this way is because I don't have the final wire hooked up to the sensor. I'll need to do the sensor down in the transmission line and then run the wire down there and wire that up. But for now it's looking pretty good. It's pretty tight against the carpet, so nothing's gonna get underneath it. Just gotta make sure that nobody's gonna kick it when they're sitting in the middle seat there. So I got the wire ran through for the sending unit, has to go down to the transmission. This is the sending unit. So I'm gonna have to get a fitting that I can weld into the transmission pan. I decided I'm actually gonna put it in there because that's the fluid that I want the temperature on. If you put it on the line in, it's gonna be really cold reading because it's gonna be what's coming back from the cooler. If you put it on the line going out, it'll be really hot because the torque converter heats up that fluid and then sends it to the cooler. So I want the pan temperature that's the most accurate to what the transmission is running at. So I'll have to get a 1/8 inch pipe thread fitting, so then I'll weld that into the transmission and then I will do that, but that'll be in another video. So if we come over here, I have the radiator. I got it all painted up, just a flat black Rust-Oleum paint. It's good enough, it's fairly hidden. It's hidden behind the condenser on the front, and then you have the fans on the back. So it's fairly hidden, as long as the tanks look decent. So this is just a regular small block Chevy radiator out of like a 305 or a 350 truck, whatever. So it's more than enough cooling for an LS. It's about the same size as a factory LS radiator. So next thing I'm gonna do is put that in the truck and then do the lower rad hose as well. So I just realized that this truck from factory was a 6.2 liter diesel, which meant it had the big block radiator, which meant it was a bigger, wider radiator. So the mounts don't exactly work with my small block radiator. They hang over because the other rad was wider. They hang over this way because it was also thicker. So I'm gonna have to find a set of small block ones and clean them up and paint them up so that I can actually mount this rad properly. So I thought I had a set of small block mounts, but I actually don't. So I will have to source those from some other source, maybe a wrecking yard, maybe a buddy of mine, I don't know, we'll see. So I can't fully mount this right now. I just have the one kind of sitting in there so this doesn't fall over, but I was able to get the lower rad hose on, and then this upper one is just sitting there. And as you can see, it'll line up. The one nice thing about putting an LS in place of where a small block Chevy once was is if you use the same radiator, your rad hoses from the LS actually work for the small block radiator. It has the upper rad hose on the driver's side on the top and then lower on the passenger side on the bottom, and they're actually the right size ports as well on the radiators. So last thing I'll have to do for the cooling system is get some heater hose, go from these two ports here down to the 2 ports on the water pump, and then that'll complete the actual cooling system, and I'll have to take some measurements, figure out what kind of electric fans I can put in there, and then make some brackets and mount them in there. So since I don't actually have that set of radiator mounts that I need, and it might be a little while till I have that set, I'm gonna end this video here today. So I want to thank you for watching this video. I want to let you know, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're not, because it makes a huge difference. And be sure to like this video, because again, it means the world. So with that, we're gonna see you in the next one.